right. Since everybody else is doing it, I guess I haven't done it yet. I suppose it's time for me to weigh in on 50 Cent. And since I have not ranted in weeks, oh yes, I feel a rant coming on. In 3, 2, 1, drop that beat. I guess it's gonna be one of those rants because I keep hearing this stuff about black women going off because of somebody's preference, especially on social media. When I was coming up, black women didn't shame you about preferring a exotic or light-skinned chick. They just didn't. Why? Because they preferred an exotic or light-skinned dude with curly hair. And nobody ever jumped on them about their fucking preference. And that's the elephant in the room. That's what we need to rant about. That's what we need to get upset about. Let's stop dancing around the obvious. Do most black men prefer an exotic girl, an exotic woman, an exotic looking female? Most men do, but do black men do that? Yes, they do. That's a preference. It does not exclude everybody else. If they can get her, they can choose one over another. That is the one that they will choose. Guess what? It's the other part of the elephant in the room that these chicks will not admit because of all that body positivity that's going around. And they're lying to themselves. If they had talked to God before they were born and could choose what they would look like, guess what they would choose? They would choose to look exotic, quote unquote. That's why come they have the skin lighteners and the makeup and the hair, the wigs, stuff like that. I haven't seen Afro wigs or nappy-headed wigs actually rise to the top of the charts, at least not by black women. And this is all over the world. What kind of hair do they choose? They choose a white girl's hair, they choose an Asian girl's hair, or they choose, at the very least, which I would prefer if they did, is the curly 3C, which is the mixed girl's hair. Everything but their own. And when they do beat their face, do they choose to look darker or do they choose to look lighter? I have never seen a girl, a black girl, doing makeup that chose a darker tone. Never. And I do believe nowadays they can make makeup in any color that you want. All the actresses I see, they might start out dark, but all of a sudden over time they get lighter and lighter and lighter. What does that tell you? That they get mad at black men for choosing something that they cannot be, that they want to be. So instead of trying to accept who you are or try to change the things that you can change, you get mad at the dudes for choosing something that you can't be. Because you want to be special. You want to be that girl. And where did you get that from? You got it from your mama. Same place he got it from. The reason he chooses exotic or good hair or light eyes or light skin and light hair is because that's what your mama chose. That's what your mama would like. And I've heard too many black women, too many black mothers coo and ah over somebody with light skin, light eyes, and curly hair. Every time I see guys interviewed, if they're going to tell the truth about why they date lighter skinned women with certain features, it maps exactly the preference of black girls if they have to do makeup or have to buy a wig or whatever. Black guys pick the exact kind of woman that you want to be when you do your makeup. They pick the exact kind of woman that you guys want to be when you do your makeup. And nobody will admit that because that's been put into your head by your great-grandma, your grandma, and your mama. And so since we're raised in the same household, your great-grandma, your grandma, and your mama's going to put the same thing in your man's head. Plenty of black guys have been not chosen because they wasn't light enough, they didn't have that curly hair, they wasn't 6 feet tall, or whatever it is that your mama and your grandma put in the girl's head. You know, the difference is that black men decided to learn how to live with it and be other things. Be more friendly, be more assertive, make more money, dress better, and then accept rejection when it comes. If you don't like a dude that's 5'6", okay, you know what? I've heard that all my life. Go forth and find a woman, the man that you want, that's 6 feet tall, and I'm gonna go find a woman that will accept me at my height. You cannot be able to pick and choose the kind of guy that looks the way you want him to look, makes the kind of money you want him to make, the height that you want. You can't have a preference and then demand that black men don't have a preference. You can't want him to be something else and then want him to accept you and glorify you for what you are. I don't even know why black women even complain, because most of you guys won't even get in the gym and get your body to be the best that it can be. And I think that's the real reason why you guys complained about what 50 Cent would want, because he wants those little petite, curly-haired, light-skinned, exotic women. If he can get them, and he can, that's the only problem. He can get them. And what you don't want is the guy next to you to desire the same thing that 50 desires. That's like you guys always attack these celebrities. Because admit it, it really isn't about the celebrity. You're afraid that that celebrity is going to influence that guy that you want to want something else. And you figure if you can attack the celebrity and put it on social media, you'll scare all the rest of the dudes into preferring some other kind of chick. And guess what? That shit never works. It never works. Now, a guy's going to prefer and pick the woman that he's going to pick. And most guys do something that black women do all the time but claim that they don't, which is settle. He will settle for the women that he can get, because men live in the real world, and men know that you have to get tired of getting rejections. You got to have some kind of wins. So he'll shoot for that dime, he'll shoot for that 9, but he'll accept that 6, he'll accept that 5, because that's what his pocket says. His pocket says, I want a 9, but I can only afford a 6. So am I going to be by myself and alone? No. I'm going to take this 6 home and be happy with it. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm getting tired of these chicks that claim colorism, because colorism is bullshit. Colorism, all that means is that the guys that I like won't pick me. That's it. And all this stuff pops up only when a celebrity does it. Now, 50 Cent, to his credit, did not say that he would never date, or he doesn't like a dark-skinned woman, or the women in his neighborhood. He didn't say that. He married one. He still dates them on and off. They asked him what his preference was, and he told the truth. Most guys, if you get them in a room and lock them in a room outside of the public, they'll tell you that most guys, I would say over 60%, probably like 70 or 80%, prefer that look. And that's been passed down for 150 years, because those chicks represented wealth. Those chicks represented upper class. Those chicks represented the mulatto class. And that's been ingrained in our head since time immemorial. Because all of the Americas, it's the same way. It's the exact same way all over the Americas. That look is the same all over the Americas. And there's nothing that you can do to change that. Now, can you slant it to where more black women or chocolate women get preferred? Sure. But for the most part, it is set in stone until somebody else takes their place. Then you can get another it chick. But for right now, this is the way it is. And this has been passed down to you by your mama. Why did your mama pass it down to you? Because it's her job to give her offspring an advantage in any environment. And if she could, that's the way you would look. If she could, that's the way you would look. That's the way she would make you. She would make you lighter, with wavier hair, with lighter eyes, so that you be more acceptable to white people. But that's something that she's not going to say to you. And that's something she's not going to say to herself, even though she looks in the mirror and she admits this is the way that she would look, because it would make her life easier. At least guys have the balls to say, look, that's not the way I look. It is what it is. This is the cards that are dealt to me, and I'm going to make the best out of what I have. Would guys love to be 6'2" with whatever? They would. Those are the genetically gifted guys. Every guy, if he could, would look like Boris Kodjoe, because it would make life easier, but he doesn't. But that doesn't mean that we have to lie to ourselves. Stop with that shit. Every show that Boris and Nicole actually did, every chick that ever got on actually admitted that they loved the way Boris Kodjoe looked. They fainted when Boris Kodjoe came in the room. Same way they fainted years ago when Harry Belafonte came walking into a room. It is what it is. They're exotic looking. They hit the genetic lottery. It is what it is. So when you see a woman that is like a Nicole Murphy walk into a room with her 5'10" ass, with her green-eyed ass, with her big titty ass, with them long-ass legs, with that light skin and that curly hair, forget it. She's better than you. Even white women are jealous of a Nicole Murphy and a Boris Kodjoe. It is what it is. They're better than you. Those are it people. Those are exotic people. And it's high time we stop trying to dance around it. Those are the preferred looking people in this population, period. Stop with the bullshit. If Prince looked like Wesley Snipes, all your chicks wouldn't have fucked with Prince, no matter how well he sang. If Prince wasn't a mulatto, you wouldn't have fucked with him. So I think it's high time you leave people like 50 Cent alone. He did like an hour and a half interview, and that little piece took all of about 2 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. Half the time you couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying. But women took those 2 minutes, they broke it down into it almost like a transcript to get upset about, and then proceeded to tell him and tell black men what they should like. Unfortunately, your mama wouldn't agree. So it's too late to raise a child. Should go back to his grandma and your grandma and tell them to stop feeding their kids poison like that. Then it wouldn't exist, because it didn't start with us. This is a matriarchy. And unfortunately, what you guys don't like is that your hidden desires actually come out through the men, because the men are not afraid to say it. So all the doggone content creators, stop dancing around this shit. Stop dancing around this colorism problem, all right? Stop dancing around it. Tell them to go talk to their mama. Tell them to go talk to their grandma. Tell them to stop cooing over little light-skinned mulatto babies when they're around, like they're so special and pretty in this special little baby doll, the little baby doll that you would like to bring home. I've seen it too many times. If you stop that, kill that mulatto lust within yourself, it will probably die in the male population. But all that shit starts with you ladies, not with us. So with that, I'm going to jump off here. This is BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.